Everybody, this is the pre-council of the City of Joliet meeting today on May 4th, 2026 with Mayor Darcy in charge, and I am Jan Quillman, Mayor Pro Tem. And so would you like to read, Mike? Okay. Yep. Figures, such a good hearing. Can you hear me now?
I got it.
Do I have to repeat or did everybody hear that? Okay, thank you. I'm going to call the roll.
Perfect. We'll begin with roll call. Mayor Darcy?
Here.
Councilman Cardenas?
Here.
Councilman Clement?
Here.
Councilman Hugg?
Here.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
Here.
Councilman Moreno?
Here.
Councilman Mudrin?
Here.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Here.
Councilwoman Reardon? She did let me know that she would not be in attendance this evening.
Okay, before we begin, I'd just like to note for the public and the media present that Council Memo 25126, an ordinance adding Chapter 21, Article 11, offenses on public property that includes bans from specific city-owned property will be pulled from this agenda. We are going to try to ease any concerns or misconceptions about this ordinance. We're going to hold it until the next city council meeting to err on the side of caution and consider some additional input that we are receiving. So we'll be pulling that one from the agenda.
Great. Okay. Next is citizens to be heard on agenda items. I do have a few people that have signed up to speak. Tiffany Hernandez. Okay, no longer. Susan Van Landingham and Georgine Williams.
Hi, folks. I live in the 800 block of Cora Street, right off of Ruby in Joliet. A few years ago, we petitioned the city to make it residential parking only, and it was a success, and it still is a success. The neighborhood is very happy with it. But now we see another business wants to go in on Ruby Street in that short area. Now, one of the issues we had was that so many businesses were moving in there, there's no parking for anybody. We had people parking on the wrong side of the street, people parking there. The garage that's down there now had cars that they would leave for weeks at a time on the street. These are some of the things that we had resolved with you guys and got our residential parking, which is working beautifully. They can't leave cars there anymore. But now we want to add another garage down there in that same half block of area. The store that's down there does a great business. They've been good neighbors. Yes, there's still parking issues and people parking on the wrong side of the street that we cannot get any Joliet police action against, because they always tell us anytime we call that there's more important things on a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning that the police have to do. They can't come control that. Okay, fine. There's going to be somebody hurt down there. You're going to add another garage down there that's going to have not enough space to park cars on for any length of time, and they're going to be wanting to put them on Center Street just like the muffler shop does. That's not fair to those people. They're going to want to put them on Marble Street. They're going to want to put them on Lime Street, and it's just not fair to all these people that have to drive through that area. Right now, with the bridge being closed here at Cass Street, everybody goes over the other two bridges, especially Ruby Street. If you come over Ruby Street right now, I am 8 blocks from Six Corners, including the cemetery that's in there, so it's at 8 blocks plus the cemetery, and they're stopped all the way down to my street to get through Six Corners. There's no way possible people are going to be able to get through there until that bridge is open. There has to be some other way. That lot is way too small. It's got 2 garage doors and a very small office. But the parking down there is impossible. If anybody was to leave their car to be repaired, or they had to drop their car off to be repaired, it's going to be put in some perilous locations. And I don't think that's fair to the neighbors, the neighborhood, or any of us that have to drive through there. We've reviewed this with you before when we did ask for our parking on our street to be residential only, and you guys understood what we were going through, but now you're wanting to add more. And until you get a city lot down there, which that would have been perfect for at that time, to take some of the off-road, off-street parking there's just no way that that area can handle it. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Georgine Williams. I live on 811 Elizabeth Street. I've been a resident up there for 79 years, so I know the area well. That is a used car lot, and then you want to make it a mechanic's place too. Just like you did to us on Broadway Street. That was supposed to be 10 cars, Larry said that, and only working on what's on there. It's a total disaster. It's ugly. That's what you see when you come down Broadway Street. How they got the license when you voted the other way, I don't know. I don't want to see that on Center Street. It's busy up there. There's no parking on both sides where they're at. The police were there on a cleanup Saturday, and they told me they had cars all over parked on the sidewalk and all. So where are my people supposed to park? I don't want to have to come down here carrying another fender again, like I did for Cora Street. I would like the police to do a checkup there. I'd like to know the accidents in that, and then to do a traffic study. It's very dangerous there. The garbage men can't even drive their truck down our alley. They have to back down. They can't get onto Ruby Street because of all the parking in that. They had a no parking sign put down there, but they were told it doesn't say no sitting, standing, or parking. So put the right sign up when you're going to put it up. And there was an accident there because when I could still walk, I had to run down there. The lady decided to come through our alley beeping the horn. Well, beeping a horn up there doesn't work. Like I say, I've been there almost 79 years. I was there when they first put the city buses up Elizabeth Street and our ceilings were cracking because they were too heavy. Okay, I was there when they buried people buried at St. John's were just plowed over for Ruby Street to be enlarged, and that did happen. We were told not go up there, but we did, because you don't tell kids not to do something. So I'm asking you to please think this through. And if you say this can go in there, there should be on Center Street an exit and an entrance. There's one lot only. Are these cars going to pile up on Center Street? Where are they going to go? They don't use the two entrances on Ruby because you can't get near them with all the parking. So I hope you think this through and give us some concrete things to work with. I want my area to be safe. And right now, it isn't. Thank you.
Come back.
Hello, my name is Tiffany Hernandez. I'm at 370 Ruby Street for the mechanic shop. I just wanted to say we understand there's concerns regarding parking and traffic along Ruby and Center. We want to assure you that our facility will provide sufficient on-site parking to accommodate all of our customers. Additionally, we are committed to working closely with the City of Joliet to implement proper measures such as installing no parking signage and coordinating with the police department to ensure compliance and maintain clear and safe streets. We also share concerns about existing parking congestions in the area, particularly from nearby businesses whose customers frequently occupy streets parking extended distances and at times obstruct access to surrounding properties, including our property. Addressing street parking and maintaining accessibility will be a top priority for us. Our goal is to establish a reliable and affordable auto repair shop that serves the Joliet community. We will offer services including brake repairs, engine diagnostics, and routine maintenance such as tune-ups. Just as importantly, we are committed to being good neighbors, working collaboratively with nearby residents and businesses to ensure that our operations contribute positively to the area and do not create safety hazards. Upon receiving approval, we will promptly comply with the city requirements, including landscaping improvements and clearly marking designated parking spaces. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, that's everyone I have signed up. Is there anyone else who would like to speak on an agenda item this evening?
Good evening, Mayor, council members. My name is Emmanuel Lopez. I'm the Executive Director for Joliet City Center Partnership. I'm here in support of this social district pilot program. We see this as a smart, controlled way to bring more energy and more foot traffic to downtown, especially along the Chicago Street and City Square. What stands out the most about this program is the 6-month pilot, which clearly, with clear rules and safeguards, it gives the city the ability to test it, evaluate it, and adjust it if needed. I also want to acknowledge that over the past few years, construction has impacted the bottom line for some of these downtown businesses. Any opportunity to help increase traffic to support them would make a difference. This can also help attract new businesses to the downtown area and show Joliet is investing in its vibrant community. At the end of the day, it builds momentum, as we're already seeing happen, and creates a strong and connected community in downtown. Thank you for your time.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak on an agenda item this evening? Okay, seeing none. Next, we will have the city manager review tomorrow night's actionable items.
Good evening. Tomorrow night, we'll have reappointments to the Joliet Art Commission. We will hear from council committees, including Land Use and Economic Development, Legislative, Public Safety, and Public Service. On to the consent agenda, Council Memo 23326, award of professional services contract for roadway mapping and pavement analysis condition classification to Cyclomedia Technology, Inc. in the amount of $190,950. A pavement analysis will be conducted on all city streets. Council Memo 23426, award of contract number 2975-0426 for the Public Utilities Department generator purchase to Metropolitan Industries in the amount of $349,302. The Department of Public Utilities did budget for the replacement of 2 standby generators utilized to provide power to our lift stations. Council Memo 23526, award of contract number 2976-0426 for the East Side Wastewater Treatment Plant final clarifier repaint to Dynamic Industrial Services in the amount of $327,600. Council Memo 236, need my glasses. 23626, award of contract number 2977-0426 for the East Side Wastewater Treatment Plant final clarifier slide gates installation to Don Mechanical Industries in the amount of $68,888. Council Memo 23726, award of contract number 2979-0426 for the well 18D rehabilitation to Great Lakes Water Resources Group in the amount of $220,907. Council Memo 23826, approve payment of the 2026 membership dues for the Lower DuPage River Watershed Coalition in the amount of $25,140.08. Moving on to agenda items. Council Memo 240-26, award of contract number 2961-0226 for the Campbell Street Water Tower Rehabilitation Project to Era Valdivia contractors in the amount of $1,893,000. And award of a construction engineering services agreement to Dixon Engineering for the not to exceed amount of $158,950. Included with this contract is a construction engineering services agreement for the Campbell Street Tower Rehabilitation Project for a not to exceed amount of $158,950 on behalf of Dixon Engineering. Ordinances and resolutions. Beginning with resolutions. Council Memo 24226, resolution amending and authorizing the execution of an amended and restated development agreement with Cullinan Joliet LLC for the Rock Run Crossing Development Project area. The city has an opportunity to update Rock Run Development Agreement that strengthens the city position and fully realizes Rock Run's long-term potential. Throughout a collaborative and deliberative process of planning and negotiation, including nearly 18 months of coordination between City, Cullinan, and Dick's House of Sports, the city has the ability to secure a major destination anchor tenant and the opportunity to accelerate the Rock Run project timeline and development activity. The heart of this agreement is focused on protecting the city and taxpayers. Performance-based incentives tied directly to the project delivery shifts greater share of risk to the developer, includes independent financial analysis supporting key decisions, and increases long-term revenue potential. The broader impact on the community is significant, positions Joliet as a regional entertainment and retail destination, and supports sustained economic growth and long-term community benefit. I want to thank Cullinan Properties for their partnership, especially Diane Cullinan for her leadership on the interchange project and overall project advancement. Dick's House of Sport for helping attract national retailers and supporting what will be a first-of-its-kind destination in the country, and city staff for ensuring this is the best possible framework for taxpayers. With that, Finance Director Kevin Singh will now provide an overview of the agreement and the project.
Good evening. Excuse me. So just an overview of the development. So Rock Run is over 300 acres at the intersections of I-55 and I-80. As City Manager Beatty mentioned, it included a new interchange at I-55 and Route 59. And the site is currently home to the Hollywood Casino, nearly 900,000 square feet of industrial, a Chipotle. There are 264 apartments that are under construction with a targeted occupancy of August of this year, as well as a Ricky Rockets gas station that's currently under construction. So why amend the agreement? The amended agreement allows the city to rebalance our risk of the original $100 million bond that financed infrastructure at the site. In fact, our risk is being reduced by $16.2 million through this agreement. We were also able to add requirements for performance and penalties for non-performance. The new agreement improves the mix of retail and restaurants to make it a popular dining and shopping destination for the region. Also, tax revenue is projected to be higher at $234 million between now and 2044 for the city of Joliet. So I'm going to turn it over to Cullinan to explain a little bit about Dick's House of Sport.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and City Manager. My name is Maria Toliopoulos, Chief Strategy Officer for Cullinan Properties. So a little bit about the anchor tenant, Dick's House of Sport. They really are a unique experiential retailer, and they are destined to be not just an anchor and what you are contributing to in terms of the development agreement, but it is truly the key and the first domino to fall for a significant amount of square footage on this development. So when we talk about Dick's House of Sport, one of the key things about Dick's House of Sport is the fact that they focus on community outreach and placemaking for the city of Joliet. And they've chosen Rock Run Collection as the location for one of their first House of Sport prototypes, which includes an outdoor field. It also includes an indoor rock wall, outdoor lit fields, outdoor skate rink, trackman, and putting green. And the store alone brings significant job creation. Dick's House of Sport needs 2 times the amount of employees as a typical Dick's Sporting Goods store, and will create approximately 140 contractor jobs just with respect to that site alone. The other thing about Dick's House of Sport is the anchor, is the additional retail that it will bring to our development. So some of the key features about this unlock that we're calling it with respect to Dick's House of Sport is that it will allow us to be able to bring over 50 national and super regional retailers that are waiting and contingent upon the Dick's House of Sport deal proceeding and moving forward. That will add approximately 300,000 square feet of immediate new development to the already 1 million square feet of constructed development on site, which includes the Hollywood Casino at 170,000 square feet, the free public parking deck at 421,000 square feet, approximately 900,000 of industrial development, and then the View clubhouse and garages totaling over 117,000 square feet of completed construction. In addition to that, retail of 300,000 square feet that is under the development agreement, we're also looking to bring 100,000 square feet of the Drury Hotel, which is already under construction, in addition to 15,000 square feet of Ricky Rockets. This will result in approximately 8,000 construction jobs, resulting in over 510 million in wages, and 5,000 permanent jobs, resulting in 200 million wages annually.
Next slide, we have just a quick video to highlight, actually, for those that don't know, what a Dick's House of Sport actually includes. Is going to be going in more detail tomorrow, so I'll move to the next slide. The next slide is just a site plan that shows the potential of the site with the Dick's as the major anchor. Just some highlights, as Maria mentioned, almost 300,000 square feet is expected to start later this year in addition to the hotel. And as she mentioned, that there were negotiation with over 50 national and regional retailers that are all contingent on Dick's locating at the site. For the city, there's some new financial requirements as part of this agreement, and when going through this, we wanted to make sure that the city was protected. We accomplished this by tying the payment of any future incentives to the opening of stores, binding contracts in the way of leases, and the commencement of vertical construction. We also took into account, should the project get delayed, the incentive is reduced annually starting in 2028. Another important is the notes. Important to note that the payment of incentives come from taxes within this property. So they don't come from the city as a whole. The revenue generated from this site will pay back the incentives. We also had requirements that retail is required to perform at $350 per square foot. So we wanted to make sure that we were having high value retail as part of this development. Some of the financial components were repurposing money from the original agreement to create a new bond payment reserve. This provides an additional safety net for the city. Any new incentive is structured as a reimbursement and paid based on revenue being generated. And the new agreement has performance-based incentives that are paid only if the project is successful. Those are referred to as developer notes. And then overall benefits of the new agreement. As we mentioned, the accelerated pace of development. So almost 90% of this development is expected to commence and occur by 2028. More revenue to the city. So through the projections, the revenue generated from this site after debt payments is at $237 million to the city of Joliet. Between now and 2044, that would support things like city services and its infrastructure. And then jobs, 8,000 construction jobs with payroll over 510 million, and then 5,000 permanent jobs every year on the property, 200 million in wages annually. Development will be at a pace. Development will be a place where people from the region will go shopping and dining. And just to close, with the agreement, Rock Run is poised to be a regional destination for shopping and dining at the crossroads of America. And then we're going to do a much longer presentation with the developer and the Cullinan folks tomorrow, and then we'll also have SB Friedman and the attorney that helped work on the deal as well. So if there's questions, we'd like to handle those tomorrow. You could reach out to me.
Mayor? Yeah. And Dick's representative will be here tomorrow too?
Correct.
And I will say this much, and I want anybody watching on television to look at tomorrow's presentation. I always have my reservations on spending any money. I did a deep dive with Kevin today. Thank you, Kevin. And we looked at it, so I think we'll cover that tomorrow. But yeah, it answered all the questions I answered. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Okay. Council Memo 24326, resolution to authorize a TIF incentive agreement with the Matisse Events LLC at 113 North Ottawa Street. The proposed 5-year forgivable loan of $79,500 would close the remaining funding gap, allow completion of the required fire suppression system, and facilitate the opening of the venue, which would bring pedestrian traffic to the area and generate property and sales tax revenue to the city of Joliet. Council Memo 24426, resolution, yes, oh, I'm sorry, Larry.
And there's sufficient funds in that TIF.
And there are sufficient funds in that TIF.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for clarifying. Council Memo 24426, resolution approving an easement agreement for water delivery structure by and between the Grand Prairie Water Commission and the City of Joliet. Council Memo 24526, resolution approving an easement agreement for water delivery structure by and between the Grand Prairie Water Commission and the City of Joliet. Council Memo 24626, resolution amending 3 agreements between the City of Joliet and Will County for ARPA funds. So we've received ARPA funds for 3 City of Joliet projects from the county: the Fairmont Extension Project and the Rosalind Culvert Project, and the Southeast Joliet Sanitary District Water Main Improvement Project. The Fairmont Extension Project and the Rosalind Culvert Project were completed under budget, allowing for the remaining unseen balances for each project to be reallocated to the Southeast Joliet Sanitary District Project. Council Memo 24726, resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement between the Grand Prairie Water Commission and the City of Joliet establishing a joint improvement agreement. This is for water mains on McDonough. Council Memo 24826, resolution accepting an easement agreement for the Railroad Street Water Main Improvement Project with Hawkeye Land Company in the amount of $40,000. Moving on to ordinances, Council Memo 25026, an ordinance adding Chapter 21, Article 11, governing the general use and accessibility of city square property. If I could invite Stephanie Silke, Corporation Counsel, and Bob Desiderio, a lieutenant of our police department.
Thank you. We have a short presentation to go through the 2 ordinances, the 2 first ordinances, 250-26 and 252-26. The first being the ordinance that is governing City Square, which just opened last week. The purpose of this ordinance is that it allows the police department to enforce the city's ordinances and state statute within the area. It aligns City Square operations with existing municipal code and state statutes, and it's in line with similar ordinances in the surrounding communities. When reviewing and drafting this ordinance, the police department, myself, as well as all other departments in the city, look to surrounding municipalities that have similar areas in their downtown to pull from their ordinances so that we are in line with our surrounding municipalities. Chapter 1 explains the definitions, the construction, and the scope of the ordinance. The most important part in Chapter 1 is the definition of city square. The picture in front of you, the red shaded area is what is defined as city square. So it includes the square as you see it outside, as well as the access road between the square and the parking deck that abuts it. It does not include the surrounding sidewalks. The sidewalks are public right-of-way, so we do not include those within this ordinance. This also establishes clear operating hours and rules, and it centralizes authority with our city manager or her designee for flexibility on closure and operations. So, for example, if the police department believes that there is a public safety issue or concern with City Square, they could advise the city manager of that concern, and she would have the decision-making authority to close it if needed. Same with all other departments within the city. So if there's a water main break or construction that needs to occur in City Square, that department can go to the city manager, apprise her of the situation, and then she has the authority to address City Square how it needs to be addressed. Chapter 2 includes the hours, closure, and operational policy of City Square. The standard public hours are May 1 to September 30th, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., October 1 to April 30th, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. These hours were constructed and decided upon in collusion with the police department as well as the state's attorney's office. We were going to follow a sunrise to sunset situation like many parks in the area. However, the police department and the Will County State's Attorney's Office thought that actual hours would be better both for them as well as for the community. There are extended hours allowable for city-sponsored events or permitted events. Those are things that the city would be aware of ahead of time. And there is permit requirements for any event or activity within the city that's not a city-sponsored event. Chapter 3 includes restrictions on conduct. This section incorporates mostly the majority of our code of ordinances as well as state statute to ensure that our police department has the necessary authority to enforce all of our codes as well as state statute. Examples of restrictions on conduct include no fighting, no assault, no trespass, no alcohol, no controlled substances, no weapons. There are no fires permitted. For example, pyrotechnics are not permitted. This was discussed with the fire department. There are specific pyrotechnics listed, and there is no grilling allowed on City Square without pre-approved permit by the city. Animals are not permitted on the property, and panhandling and begging are limited. Sleeping within the square is also not allowed. These can all be found in Chapter 3 on the restrictions on conduct. The next chapter is Chapter 4, which includes vehicles, parking, and traffic control. Similar to the last chapter that we just went over, it incorporates city code, state statute to ensure that the police department has the adequate authority to enforce our code within the square. It does give deference to pedestrians and more protections to pedestrians. So things like roller skating, rollerblading, skateboarding is not allowed in City Square. We want to encourage foot traffic within City Square, and in order to do that, we do need to protect our pedestrians. We also have a ban that no drones may take off or land within 300 feet of City Square. This is directly in line with FAA guidelines. The final chapter is Chapter 5, which is permitting. This explains the permitting process for use of City Square, that process is delineated by the Department of Cultural Affairs and Special Events, and that department will ensure collaboration across all necessary city departments to ensure that there are adequate safety measures, licensure, and cleanup for any permitted event that occurs in City Square.
Yeah.
Stephanie will then continue for Council Memo 25226, ordinance amending the Joliet Liquor Code by adding a social district to Chapter 4, Article 2, Section 16, which is liquor permits. Stephanie?
Thank you. In front of you also tonight is a proposed social district pilot program. When all of the departments within the city were discussing City Square, the opening of City Square, and how it is going to increase foot traffic within the city, many businesses and individuals within the city came to the city asking for a potential pilot program so that we could encourage even more individuals coming to our downtown area. The proposed pilot program in front of you would run from June 1 of 2026 to December 31st of 2026. It's a 6-month pilot program, so there are adequate protections in place for the city. It would allow for businesses on the Chicago Street corridor to sell one beverage to go to individuals. The Chicago Street corridor is defined as Chicago Street from Jefferson Street to Cass Street. It includes sidewalk level businesses only with a Chicago Street address, as well as City Square. We, when discussing the borders and the boundaries with the police department, the idea came about that we did not want individuals crossing state routes with open alcohol. So Jefferson Street and Cass Street are both state routes, so we wanted to limit that, so those are the boundaries. The proposal is that there would be a social district from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m., May 1 to September 30th, and 4 p.m. to 9 p.m., October 1 to April 30th. This is in line with the City Square operating hours as well. The proposed social district pilot program would have the banners that are in front of you for the boundaries of the social district. We want things to be very clear on where the social district starts and ends. These are the proposed banners that the Department of Cultural Affairs and Special Events has drafted. It has the hours and times. It also has the rules of the social district, as well as the map of what the social district encompasses. The proposal also includes to-go cups that would have a City Square logo and a place for the business to write the date and time of the beverage sale, as you can see in front of you. This is the proposed cup. That cup, when we were discussing this with the police department and discussing protections for the social district, we wanted to make sure that the police department had as much information as possible to handle any unruly citizens. So the date and time and where the drink was purchased was their idea, so that they have as much information as possible in enforcing city square and social district rules. Eligible businesses to be included in the social district are required to have a full kitchen, and 40% or less of their total sales can be from alcohol. The proposals also include these signs. So these signs would go in businesses that are either joining or not joining the social district. The businesses within the quarter are not required to join the social district. This is something that they can choose to do, so the signage would be in their business so that citizens know whether they are part of the social district or not. Like I said earlier, it is a 6-month pilot program so that we can address growing pains and ensure compliance by the business, address any issues that are going on, so that it is a successful program. Additional safeguards in place include the liquor commissioner may end the program early if there are issues within the downtown area, and the 6-month pilot program can only be renewed with council approval at the end of the 6-month pilot. It would sunset on December 31st if not approved by council. Thank you.
Any questions for Stephanie or Lieutenant Desiderio?
Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, just a few comments. You know, I understand it's a pilot program. It's going to be moving. I'd like to see anybody that has a liquor license, like the nice lady that was here 2 weeks ago that has the plant shop. We're excluding her. She's right there at the corner. The Rialto Square Theater. Maybe there's something going on there. They can come across the street. I'd like to include more. I think people are adults that can handle themselves for the most part. So I'd like to see other businesses that we have the Casa in the train station. I'd like to see them. They have specialty drinks. I'd like to see them be part of this as well. That's just my thoughts. I mean, it's a pilot program. We can work on. I just don't want to exclude businesses that, especially the one lady right there at the corner. You know, she doesn't have a kitchen, I don't believe, but I'd like to see her included. So that's it.
Thanks, Joe. Mayor? Yeah. I got a question. And it's for me, but it's also for people watching. So the ordinance for, the plaza, I understand setting rules specifically for that public property, right? But it was mentioned several times that in order for the police to enforce municipal code and state law, we have to have an ordinance. That kind of caught me off guard. Why do we have to have an ordinance? In other words, it'd be the Wild West without the ordinance? They couldn't arrest people for breaking the law?
They could. The City Square ordinance in particular is a very robust ordinance that governs multiple different areas for the city as a whole and the police department for the operations of City Square. It takes our current ordinances and applies it to City Square so that the police department and the public are on notice for the square in particular, because it is a new area that the city has not seen in a long time.
And I had one more, if you don't mind. In one of the slides, we mentioned no panhandling. How come we don't just do it throughout the whole city? I mean, we have a problem at Larkin Avenue, Six Corners, you name it. I know it's a national problem. Any municipality you go in, you see it. I don't care what their household income is. It's everywhere. I've seen it because I travel, for work. But I just don't know why we don't do it throughout the whole city. So, just another comment.
Mayor? This starts at 4 o'clock,
Yes.
so there was no thought on weekends having it earlier in the afternoon?
We chose 4 o'clock as the start date for every day so that it was clear during the pilot program and there were no questions or ambiguity.
Thank you.
Can I say something? I would really also like to see Internote included. They're right there adjacent to the square. That makes sense.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Joe's comment as well. I would like to see, I think her name is Michelle, right? Internote included if we can. And actually, I do want to get I would like a response to Joe's comment about why can't we do citywide, the ordinance of not the panhandling one? I think that's a Todd question or Stephanie.
Yeah, it's you can't just ban panhandling. It's the First Amendment right. What we did here is we banned specific harassing conduct. So we can't say you can't panhandle, but we can regulate the conduct so that they don't harass other people in the city square. So it's not really accurate to say we're banning panhandling. We're banning the conduct that could come with the panhandling of harassing behavior.
Mayor? Yeah.
Which does not apply to the public way.
Right, and I noticed it. It says limited panhandling, because I know we have the First Amendment issues that have been dragged through the courts umpteen times in the state of Illinois, so I understood that. I also understand some of the businesses that have been mentioned. Is there a complication, you had mentioned crossing a state highway with all the alcohol, does that complicate things? Is that why, you know? 'Cause
It does.
To make that happen, so some of these businesses, you'd have to what, work with the state and get their permission?
That's correct, and I do not believe that that would happen.
Okay, fair enough, thank you.
Can I ask a really quick question? Would you define, because I noticed the same thing, that it said panhandling is limited. Can you go into that so we understand?
So it's when they become harassing. Someone can say, stop panhandling, you know, that's one thing. If they go across the line and they're harassing, or it's almost like a disorderly conduct, that's what we're limiting here, is if someone crosses the line.
Todd, would that be defined, like, for instance, like a lot of laws, that if the behavior would make a reasonable person, you know, afraid, that would...
I would agree with that.
Okay.
Oh, one more. Are e-bikes included in that?
They are
I think I saw
not
something on the floor.
They are not allowed on city square.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on, Council Memo 25326, ordinances associated with the approval of the Rock Run Crossings Lifestyle Center subdivision, an ordinance approving a preliminary plat for the Rock Run Crossings Lifestyle Center, an ordinance approving a recording plat for the Rock Run Crossings Lifestyle Center. Council Memo 25426, ordinances associated with the development of Rock Run Crossings Drive Phase 2 subdivision, an ordinance approving a preliminary plat for Rock Run Crossings Drive Phase 2 subdivision, ordinance approving a recording plat for Rock Run Crossings Drive Phase 2 subdivision, and an ordinance approving a plat of vacation for approximately 1.7 acres of Quartz Drive. Council Memo 25526, ordinances associated with the development of the Shale Road subdivision in Rock Run Crossings, ordinance approving the preliminary plat for the Shale Road subdivision in Rock Run Crossings, and an ordinance approving the recording plat for the Shale Road subdivision in Rock Run Crossings. Council Memo 25626, ordinance approving a variation of use to allow an indoor and outdoor commercial recreation facility, a B3 general business use in the RB Restricted Business District located at 749 Hobart Road. The petitioner and contract purchaser is Dive Right in Scuba. Council Memo 25726, ordinance approving a special use permit to allow an automotive repair facility located at 370 Ruby Street.
Question here. I know we had a couple of residents speak about it. Now, that currently is a used car business?
That's correct.
Is it going to remain used car or just mechanic?
So the purpose of it is to allow an auto repair facility within the existing building, which has 2 repair bays and a small office and restroom area.
Will it continue to be a used car lot too?
From my understanding is yes. Is that correct, Dustin?
There's a little bit of confusion. There is a lot of use there, and the residents are absolutely right. There has been from another business some parking, some fugitive parking is what I would refer to it as. This parcel is a former radiator repair shop that is idle. What the petitioner would like to do would be to use this site for an automotive repair shop. There are 2 bays there. So the ordinance is before you asks 2 questions. One question is, in this B3 zone, this is an approved use, but it is because it's automotive related, they have to get permission from you. So that's question 1. So can we take this vacant, well not vacant, this idle parcel with a building that was originally built for automotive repair and use it once again for automotive repair? And the second question before you is, the current ordinances that we have in the city of Joliet don't allow for an entrance within 100 feet of a residential use. This building in this neighborhood preceded those regulations. So the second question in front of you is, can this entrance be used? The staff recommendation is please consider. This is a hardship. The building was built, and when it was built, right, we changed the ordinances. It would work. So to your question about the parking, the petitioner estimates servicing 4 vehicles a day, 24 vehicles a week. On site, there will be 12 stalls, including ADA stalls. Additionally to that on-site parking that they will provide for their scheduled and walk-in customers, they will be pulling out some asphalt that is on Center and Ruby and planting some grass, some sod there, in addition to the general maintenance and striping of the site.
Thank you.
Hey,
No.
Dustin, is there anything in there for pulling in and out of the parking lot?
Is there anything
In the agreement where they have to, maybe if they're pulling out on Ruby, right turn only or something along, is there anything in there?
There's not a right turn only on Ruby,
Right.
no.
Because it is, I mean, it's congested there, I get it.
Yeah,
And it used to be the radiator place, I'm familiar with it, so.
You know it.
Mayor, I have a question. So you're saying they have 2 bays and they could have 4 cars at any one time? That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's going to be more. It's going to be 2. It's going to be 4. Then it'll be 6, 8. They'll pile up waiting for their radiator to be done. That whole place down there is a total mess, and I'm sorry that it happened back in the day, but this is progress, and that's a very crowded area with a lot of seniors that live there, a lot of churchgoers there. There's no place to park. There's a grocery store around a little further down. If you go by there at any time, you can barely get down the streets. You can barely get down there. I just don't think this is a good idea. I'm sorry to say that, but, and it's happened before. We have another business right away now on Broadway, and there were certain specifications that were supposed to be done there, and they still haven't been done. And this has been at least 5, 6 years. It's not just a tire place. There's used cars there. Some of them are hidden in the back. They're not repaired. They were supposed to put a fence around there and some landscaping and sidewalks, and it's still a mess. You go by there today, it is a mess. And that's one of the main roads into Joliet to Route 66. So I'm sorry to say this, but I can't go with that one, and we need to relook at this thing because we put all these parameters in place and orders and ordinances, and they're never followed. And then when you call here and have someone to go look up on it, oh, well, it's okay, they're gonna fix it. They don't fix it. It's a mess, and I wish people would go, and so I don't know how you think this place is gonna be any different. Sure, they'll promise you the world until they get it, and then after that, it's like, oh, we're busy, this. But you have to think of the residents that have lived there and do live there, and when you look at all the businesses around that area, it is well over, it's just overwhelming there. So I just have to speak that way. Those are my concerns and those are my opinions.
Mayor? Yeah, Jan, I agree, but you know, it's not, we need as a city to go there and enforce the ordinances. We put these in place, there's only supposed to be 10 cars on Broadway, we should go there tomorrow. If there's more, fine them. That's on us. We're not doing our job. You know, that, he had a lot, I ended up talking to the owner over there, and he took a lot of those cars out of there on Broadway. But let's talk on Ruby. It is busy, you are right. It's on us to enforce the ordinances. And when we let it go, that's what happens. Now you have 30 cars over there.
With all due respect, Councilman, okay, Mayor, if I may just say, yes, and when they call, if they have the time to go over there to police these people, we shouldn't have to police them when they have more cars. They should do what they're told in the beginning. And they come here and say, oh, yes, yes, I will do that, everything will be wonderful. And that place on Broadway has been nothing but a nightmare, and there's more than 10 cars at any one time, and then when it's cleaned up, and then it's there for a while, and then they go right back, and there's cars hidden behind the one building, so you can't see them if it's just a drive-by. But you go down Broadway, it's a mess. And those are my opinion, and I think, not just because this is Route 66 and the 100th anniversary, but we want to put our best foot forward always, not just when we're having an anniversary. And when there's people are not following what they promised to do, I don't know why they're still allowed to do it.
And I'll say again, it's on us to, businesses are going to do what they're going to do until they have to face the consequences. The enforcement is on us, and we should go there tomorrow and take care of it.
Mayor, real quick. Hey, Dustin, what do we have in place so that we can enforce it? Do we have something in place for?
I was not lucky enough to be here in Joliet 5 years ago when the ordinance that is being referenced took place. I am, as you began speaking, I was writing down to look into this and go out tomorrow, see what conditions were placed on that approval, because just like this, I'm sure there were a series of conditions that were appended to that ordinance. Let's go. Let's take a look out. Refer to it, and if they're out of compliance, take the corrective actions that are necessary. Happy to do that.
In regards to the Ruby Street.
I'm sorry, I missed a beat. Could you repeat your question, Councilor Moreno?
Do we have something in place that we can police it? Basically, we can enforce if they, let's say, if it gets approved and they don't follow their proposed development agreement. Do we have something in place that we can enforce it?
Sure. There are 6 conditions to the proposed ordinance that you are going to consider. I'll just read those out for those who may not have an agenda or a copy in front of you. The first is that all proposed site improvements are completed prior to the issuance of a certificate of occupancy, including A, removal and replacement of the curb and sidewalk along the portion of Ruby Street, B, the removal of asphalt and installation of turf grass at the northwest corner and along the north side of the site, and C, the striping of the parking lot in accordance with the city standards. The second condition is that a functional oil separator be in place for the garage bays. Probably not interesting to you. Important to water. 3, that all service and repairs shall be performed within the building. 4, that a city business license shall be obtained. And the 5th talks basically about the building permit, certificate of occupancy not obtained later than 180 days. So if it takes you too long to take off the plane, you got to stay on the tarmac. And 6, should the property be declared a public nuisance, it may be subject to a rehearing and possible revocation of the special use permit. So if you were to look at if they're being a good neighbor or not, generally speaking, it would be 0.6, should the property be declared a public nuisance. Now, in that Broadway, I'm not really prepared to speak on something that I don't have in front of me. There very well may be, because I've seen it here in Joliet and other places, where there is a specific cap on X or Y. That's something that we're going to find out. Happy to report back to this body tomorrow on that. But in this particular instance before you right now, there is not a specific cap, because it's not a lot for storage, and understood everybody's lived experience is different, but this petition portrayed to us that this is not going to be, we're going to park and store, we're going to fix your car and you're going to take it away.
Okay, thank you.
Dustin, on the Ruby Street, the current petition that's before us, you had said that part of the agreement, obviously, is that a part of the allowance restrictions is that repairs be done in the bays only.
Repairs to be done inside only, yes.
Is there a limit to how many cars they can stack up waiting?
Legislatively, no, but physically, I would say yes.
They're going to have 12 spaces, right?
There will be 12 exterior parking spaces. I think there'll be 3 employees there, so there'll 9 customer spots. I'm doing back of the napkin math. I'm not a mechanic, sir, but there's not legislatively a cap on the number of cars they can fix a day. Perhaps I'm not understanding your question.
No, the question, I think we've had it before with other, like you said, unique ordinances and agreements. No, I mean, could they have 9 cars sitting there waiting to be fixed for 6 weeks? Just sitting there.
If the cars are parked within the lines on their site, I suppose they could have cars there.
I can't think, anybody up here, Shan, do you remember, we've had ones where we've restricted the amount of cars that they can
Yes,
store
we do.
long-term.
Broadway Street.
I think,
And we saw,
Was it
and we
Broadway
call
Street one?
up and they move
You
the
might want to
cars
look at
and
the
then they
Broadway
move them
Street
back.
agreement to see that.
I think,
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor, I think the Broadway, if I remember right, it was because they were trying to go from an auto repair to a car dealership at that time. So how many cars he was able to have on his lot, we were able to put restrictions on that for selling cars. But I don't believe he ever converted it to a car dealership, so it remained an auto repair. So I don't know if there's any kind of in the ordinance or restrictions that you can say that, because I think the concern is, like you said, we've seen it where there's just a lot of cars piled up everywhere. To say that if cars are not parked within parking lines, is that a violation? It's on private property, so are we as a city allowed to go ticket for cars that are not in parking lines, right? So I don't know if there is something we can do with that, but I know that the car restriction was based off of, they were trying to get a car dealership license, but they maintained it as an auto repair shop, they never converted.
And I think, thank you, Councilman, and I think to answer that too, because it's a special use, we can put any restrictions on that private properties that we want as a government in agreement with them, and if they don't agree, then they don't get the special use.
I mean, I would be open to that discussion as far as making sure cars are parked within the parking lines that are allowed. So if there's 12 parking spots, not just have cars stacked everywhere.
Mayor, my recollection, I believe it was 10 or 12 for that Broadway Street. So.
And Dustin's going to check into
Yeah.
that. Thank you, Dustin. That's all I got, Mayor.
Thanks.
That concludes the agenda.
Next, we have comments on non-agenda items. Is there anyone who would like to address the council this evening on a non-agenda item?
Good evening, Mayor, Council, everybody else. Christine Johnson, I am coming to you this evening to make you aware of a couple of situations that have happened this weekend. On Thursday, I attended the Joliet Slammers game at the prison. I was there with family and friends, and I made it to the 7th inning stretch. There were other individuals who are in the same category as I, illegally banned from the property, yet Mr. Peerbolt felt it necessary to target only me and have me escorted out by the police department. Of course, my husband followed because he was with me. But Mr. Peerbolt made it a point to come up to me and tell me I was not welcome, and then accused me of continuing to make Facebook posts threatening litigation to him. Okay, so now we have a whole different issue. Mr. Peerbolt is now accusing me of things. I'm not employed there. I'm a citizen, and I'm an ambassador. And I was removed. I was humiliated. Out of the thousands of people that were there, I was targeted by Greg Peerbolt. Having him walk up to me, flanked by 2 of our fabulous Joliet police officers, boy, did he look like an idiot. And I'm not going to lie, because people were stopping, they were looking, they were talking. My family came up to me as I was being escorted out, hugging me. There is a sports reporter there who contacted me prior to the game, interviewed me, knows I'm a historian, and asked me to talk about the history of baseball at the prison, which of course I did. I love the prison. As an ambassador for this city, Heritage Corridor, of course I did it. And there was nothing but positivity from myself and my husband. We were so excited to see history come alive. It was overwhelming, and I was so proud. I am so proud to be a member of this community, and I will continue to give back. Which brings me to the point I'd like to discuss now. Red Carpet Corridor, what a fantastic weekend for us, right? As the member and guest services manager at the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum, I have a fantastic staff of volunteers that I work with. It came to our attention that the Joliet Area Historical Museum was closed all weekend. On Saturday, we welcomed 686 guests to the Rock and Roll Museum. There were a lot of travelers that were standing outside of the Joliet Area Historical Museum. My volunteers went down to the museum and welcomed them to our museum so that they wouldn't be left out. All of my volunteers and staff that did that are all Heritage Corridor Destination Ambassadors. Oh, and that certificate was signed by Greg Peerbolt, by the way. 686 people. And the Joliet Area Historical Museum is supposed to be giving out the trading cards for the Scenic Byway. Guess what? Do you know? So 686 people potentially missed out on that. I had several, I became the sounding board and, you know, trying to make travelers happy and listening to them. Complaint department for Joliet Area Historical Museum. Yet I am not welcome. I will continue to be an ambassador. I will continue to talk the place up, send people over there, as I always do. But dang it, you guys, come on. 3 years. Mr. Peerbolt needs to get over himself. I am now being targeted as a citizen. Okay? Humiliating it was to me. Come on. We can do better. I'm an ambassador. People come to me. I was so busy helping people who were so angry that JHM was closed all weekend, by the way. And I can tell you this for a fact. We fortunately had a council member in the house at the museum. And I didn't have to say to that counselor, this is happening, because, you know, nobody would believe me, especially Greg Peerbolt. But the fact that these people were venting to this council person, they heard it, they know our pain, and I am not going to stop listening to these people. But come on, you guys. Talk to Mr. Peerbolt. Now he's targeting me as a citizen and accusing me of crimes. I am a citizen. Can we please fix this finally? It's not personnel, it's personal. It always has been. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Hey, I want to say this, and this is to Bill Evans. Bill, I want you to come up here, but, you know, you can sit back there. I want to say to you, you know, from day one, when you became police chief, remember when I went up to you and told you about the problems I had with the drag racers. And remember what you told me? You told me you would take care of the drag racers for me. And I'm happy to say Bill Evans has. He has taken care of them drag racers. And you don't know how much I appreciate that, because of my safety always being in danger when I was living out there, these drag racers blocking the street and attacking me and my mother through the years. Other police chiefs could not get the job done. But Bill Evans, you did. You don't know how much I appreciate that, Bill. You kept your word, and you've just been a gentleman through all the years. You make me want to come to the city council meetings because I just want to get my fist bump, my friendly hi from you. I thank you so much for that, Bill. And you retiring is sad, because I only hope that the city of Joliet can find somebody with integrity But Bill Evans has. He has been tough on the crimes and everything, yet he's got the biggest heart. You know, he knows what I'm going through, and he has a sensitivity to give me encouraging me when I've been so down on my life. And it's been Bill's encouraging words that have helped me through so much through the years. Coming here to that city council, getting that fist bump, getting that friendly high, and giving the encouraging words that even my family members didn't even have the guts to give me. So Bill, I appreciate everything you've done for me. It's gonna be hard. There is no other Bill Evans, but I hope the city of Joliet can find somebody that can carry on the legacy of this man and keep up the bravery and the toughness that this guy has, yet the kind heart that this guy has. He understands everybody's situations, but then he ain't taking no bull from anybody either. So letting the crimes happen and that, you know, he's put his foot down, he's done what other police chiefs haven't been able to do. And I hope to God's sake, when you guys get a new police chief, is as great as he is. I thank you, Bill. Thank you so much.
Hi, good evening, Mayor, Councilman, and City Manager. My name is Mary Montgomery. I serve as the Will County Continuum of Care Executive Director. We are the coalition that works to end homelessness in the three-county area. So I'm here today just to, to share just some ideas, not about an agenda item anymore, but specifically as you guys are continuing to grow the city center space and thinking about the ordinances and the rules that you'll be putting into place, that you pay a special attention to compassion for those who are experiencing homelessness. So it is very important for you, for me, for anybody to have access to public facilities, to public spaces, especially when they are trying to navigate through crisis and trying to figure out what they'll do next. I'm very proud of the work that's happened in this community. So as you may or may not know, 2023, we were in a crisis situation with unsheltered being the highest number ever. So since then, we have continued to decrease homelessness, unsheltered homelessness, over the last couple years, specifically down 70%. So as a collaborative, in working with the partners in the community and working with nonprofits and working side by side with the fire department and their teams too, we have worked continuously to work on unsheltered homelessness. So we're continue to do that work, and I'm sure that you should be seeing that evidence in your city spaces. So as you continue to think through how you'll be working with that, working with your rules over the city center, would like to participate in helping you communicate any changes to the space and also continue to do outreach and engagement of people who are experiencing homelessness, because we believe in a community that homelessness doesn't exist in. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to address the council this evening on a non-agenda item? Okay, seeing none. I did receive a request for closed session. Is there a motion to go into closed session to discuss personnel, collective bargaining, land acquisition or conveyance, pending or threatened litigation, after which the meeting will adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
Aye.
Councilman Moreno?
Aye.
Councilman Mudron?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Aye.
Oh, did I skip you? Did I really?
Aye. I want to go to